Hello, one Paul here. Today I'm gonna probably be one of the last videos where I talk about the time frames and the strategy that I use with the trend meter and the relative strength index. I find this strategy very useful, and if you guys haven't checked out the last two videos, definitely check those out. I go over the 5 minute and the hour, which is the other two time frames that I think this strategy works the best in. Today I'm gonna talk about the 4 hour. I'm gonna show you how to get it set up with the 4 hour with using SPY as an example. Now the benefits of doing the 4 hour, from what I find, is when you see the indication with the trend meter, you can usually pick up a signal. And with the 4 hour, if you're doing contracts, you can only like 3 days worth is only it's like 6 bars, six candles. So usually you can find good patterns doing it by the 4 hour. But let me see. The first thing you have to do is you have to wait. Wait for it to cross and get everything set up. So let me show you guys how to set it up if you guys haven't watched the last couple videos. First thing you're going to need is what we're going to do is we're going to merge the trend meter, which is going to load trend meter first. And we're going to load that, and then we're going to load the relative strength index. Okay, so we have them here. So what we're going to do with the trend meter is we're going to remove everything except where it says all three trend meters now align. So we're going to uncheck everything else. And you guys don't have to do this, but I do it just for space for my phone. And now let's see if it shows. There it is. You can see it there. It'll show, I think. So what we want to do now is we want to merge the trend meter with the RSI. So we're going to merge it. So you'll be left with something like this. You'll see the dots up there at the top, and this gives you a good general idea of when to get in. And I'm going to explain the strategy. So the first thing you need, you also need the 1348 as well for above here. So what you want to do is you want to look for, you want to look for first the thing you need to keep your eyes open. We're trying to spot the moments when the 1348 is crossing, but also when there is a dot that appears right here. And from my looking at it, you only need to focus when it looks like it's about to cross. My opinion is do not try to do it when it's not crossing, because you could probably end up getting wrecked that way. You have to look for the moments where it looks like it's about to cross. Like right here. Here's a good example. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. And see, when you're doing it on the 4 hour, well, for me, if I do a contract, I usually do a contract for 2 or 3 days, the bare minimum. So when you're looking for the candles, that only usually covers like 4 or 6 candles. So that would be your entry point. This is for more long-term holds for like 2 or 3 days. You could do it. You could sell sooner if you get the gains, but this is more for long-term. So anyway, right here we see it signaling. You see the trend meter right here. You see the green dot right there. You see it signaling right here. So at this point on the 4 hour, we're using SPY as an example, and if we were doing options, from this point right here, I would do a 367 call, because it signals it right here with the trend meter. You can look at the relative strength index, and you notice that it is above the yellow line, and so those indicators check it off. So What you would do is you would just enter at this point, and then you wait it out. If you buy your contract for about 3 days, you can sell, and 3 days is right here actually. This is actually 2 bars is actually 3 days for this scenario. It must have been during a weekend or something. But these 2 bars alone was 9.84 difference in price. 9.84 times 50. That's that's 492 right there. So let's look at a couple other examples. The first thing you want to look for the time when it looks like it might cross. I mean, there's no way to never know for sure, but it has to look like it's going to cross. So let's look at this moment. It looks like right here. And this using the 4 hour is usually for longer plays, like 2 or 3 days. You can go longer if you can buy more contracts, but we see right here that it predicts, the trend meter prints out a red dot right here, so it picks it up right here. So I would enter my option trade for about a put for 417 at this point, and then I was waited out, and I'll just do 3 days, which is it's not a lot of bars. 2 bars for 3 days here. That is 1381 difference in price for 3 days. So in 3 days, it had a price difference of 1381. So 13.81 times about 50. It's $690 in 3 days. So I really like the 4 hour. So anyway, let's look at a couple more times. Here we go. So we can see that the 1348 crosses here. If we look at our trend meter, we can see that it picked it up right here. So the signal came early for it. So even before it started to cross, this is 2 days. This is 3 days. So 2 days. Yeah. Come on. She started right here. And 3 days was about, I'm only doing 3 days as an example because that's usually how I hold my contracts. If you guys have it in the budget, you guys can do it for a week. It's good for a week or however long you want to hold it. You just have to look at your RSI. But I'm just doing 3 days as an example. You can even do 2 or 1, but I'm doing 3. So anyway, this is 3 days. 3 days worth, you got 5.47 difference in price. 5.47 times 50. $273 in 3 days. So I'm going to do this a couple more times because I think you guys get the general idea. So let's see. Let's look for a cross. Okay, here we go. Here we got one right here. Okay, so we see a 1348 cross right here. It gives the indication. It gives the indication like right when it was crossing on this example. So this is a good. And you also want to take note of the RSI, the purple line. Where is it at this point? Is it below? Is it where it needs to be? Because if you're doing a put, it needs to be below the line. If you're doing a call, it needs to be above the line. So let's just look. So this one is 1 day. That's 3. That's too much. Let's just do this one here. This is 1 day. 1 day, it had a difference of $20. A $20 difference. Man, that's a big one. That's a big one. $20 difference. 52. That's $1,000 right there. So anyway, let's do this. I'm going to do this 2 more times, and you guys get the general. You guys can, after watching all my videos, see whichever time frame you like the most. But I find it that the longer the time frame, the better the result using this strategy. Okay, so we see that it crosses right here with the 1348. Let's see where the trend meter. Oh, it picks it up right here. It picks it up way before. So anyway, this scenario, we want to make sure we look at the relative strength index. The purple line is below everything. Everything checks off. So I would come in at a 453 put at this point, and then I would write it out. That's 1 day, 2 days right here. So 2 days. So that's 5 days. So this is 2 days. 2 days, 4 hours. It was a price difference of 651. 6.51 times 50. $325 in 2 days, 4 hours. So anyway, I'm going to do this one more time. I think you guys get an idea. See, what we look for is, here's a good one right here. So we see that it's crossing. See, it's crossing right here. And as it's crossing up, we can look at the relative strength index and see that it is above the yellow line, which indicates movement up. And the trend meter predicts it right here. So I would come in at this point at a 422 call, and I would write it out for 1 day, 2 days, 2 days, 5 days. Okay, so we got to do 2 days. 2 days, 4 hours. It went up $21 difference in price. $21.36. $21.36 times 50. So this one, yeah, it's still over $1,000 in 2.5 days. So anyway, this strategy I think is very powerful. I think this strategy works the best with the longer you go out with your time frames. I think 4 hours is the most you can do from this strategy. But anyway, this strategy works very well. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in future videos.